Today's episode of New Jersey Living is going to feature South Plainfield, New Jersey. So for you Jersey hunters who have been along with me along various other journeys, welcome back. Those who are new to the viewing, welcome aboard. So today, South Plainfield, the reason why we're choosing South Plainfield is there is a distinct reason why communities like this at times float under the radar, and we're going to jump right directly into the big three, which I always reference in my episodes when it pertains to demand. Big three are proximity to New York City, meaning an hour commute. Second is a train station, local train station in town. And the third are school ratings. So right off the bat, number one, yes, South Plainfield is within an hour commute to New York City. More specifically, because we are right maybe half mile from the 287 entrance that takes you directly into Staten Island. Changes into 440 by that point in time. We're about 20 minutes from Staten Island, but I always try and reference Midtown Manhattan when I talk about a New York City commute. So from here to Midtown Manhattan, driving would be about 55 minutes. So it checks off at number one. Number two, local train station. There is no local train in South Plainfield. Two neighboring towns of Plainfield and Edison both do have train stations, but South Plainfield does not have one. And then school ratings. South Plainfield schools are rated pretty good. They're very good schools. They're B+ on niche.com. And I reserve the A+, even A- for the checkoff for school ratings. So I will not give the checkoff, but I will say the school ratings are very good here in South Plainfield. So for those reasons why it doesn't hit all three is why this is not an extremely high demand location like a Scotch Plains, one of the recent episodes that we had, like a Montclair, like a Ridgewood, some of those suburbs that are going to be a bit more highly rated in terms of demand. But where I am right now is one of the factors that makes South Plainfield so attractive. I'm standing in the parking lot of a shopping center, as you probably can see behind me. You can see there's Dick's Sporting Goods behind me. Just to pan around a little bit, behind me here is a stretch of some of the chain restaurants. Panda Express is directly. Five Guys is over there as well. And then there's Target on the other side. Regal Movie Theaters is right over here as well. There is a Kohl's. There's FedEx. So this is one of two major shopping centers in South Plainfield. South Plainfield has two major shopping centers. And by shopping center, I mean major. This is just one section of about a half mile radius of extensive shopping centers, and this is just part of it. All right, so we're looking at about maybe half of it right now. And there is another one in town, and South Plainfield, for the relative size of the town, has substantial commercial space, which offsets property taxes. So you're going to notice with the properties that we see today, the property taxes are all under $8,000. All right, so this is one of those places where, and it's not common in New Jersey, but you have very, very reasonable property taxes. All right, so this is something that we're going to take a look at today. We're going to jump into three properties, a couple scenes in town that are really, really nice features, a couple go-to spots in terms of eating. And I'm hoping that you'll stay with me throughout the journey. Let's get into it now. Welcome to New Jersey Living. I'm Corey Jones, and I'm a real estate agent with Compass Real Estate. And if you are looking to learn everything there is to know about the neighborhoods, the food dining scene, the things to do in various neighborhoods throughout northern New Jersey, basically the New York City suburban areas, this is the channel for you. So be sure to click like, subscribe, and the notification bell to stay updated on all of our episodes that are coming up. I routinely receive text messages, phone calls, and emails from folks just like you looking to make a purchase here in New Jersey, and even in some cases looking to sell. So by all means, reach out to me. All of my information is right here in the details, and I would love to give you any assistance and insights that I have to help you along in your journey. So we're here at our first stop to view a property in South Plainfield. The property behind me is 1333 Yergel Drive. This property listed at $449, sold at $501, and literally was on the week for 1 week. On the market for 1 week before there was a highest and best. I recall very vividly because I showed this property. 3-bedroom, bath and a half. As you can see, it is a bi-level. And as I've mentioned in some of the previous episodes, bi-levels are basically a ranch-style home that is stacked on top of another footprint of equal size. Usually that bottom level is separated into a 1 or 2 car garage, and then either a entertainment, recreation space, sometimes a bedroom, sometimes both, depending on how big the footprint. This case, as you can see, there is a 2-car garage, and there's a recreation area on the bottom level. Very nice deck in the backyard. As you can see, there is a privacy fence. It is on a corner lot with some new construction directly across the street. This is going to be a new townhouse development here in South Plainfield. So this property, there was a lot of competition because it was very well maintained, not newly renovated, but had been upgraded fairly recently and presented very well for showing. These type of properties in this market, even though we're seeing a slowdown with the rate increase that has happened over the past 6 months, properties that are very well maintained with recent upgrades or the high quality renovations are still in very, very competitive scenarios when it comes to the actual sell. What we're seeing a slowdown is with the properties that are a bit outdated, maybe need some work. There's not the same degree of competition on those. Those you can even negotiate in some cases under list price in this market right now. But places like this, they're still relatively hot. Fewer buyers, but nonetheless still going above ask. So this is one of 3 that we're going to take a look at. We're going to take another stop in town at the local park before we go to the following 2. I'll see you there. We are making our way towards the park, as I mentioned. Had to make 2 quick stops to give plugs to 2 establishments that I frequent a lot. I don't even live in town, but these are 2 places that are well known in town and great food options. This right here, Bagel Pantry, is a staple here in town. So not only do locals, but surrounding residents from surrounding towns like myself will come here for bagels, or if it's just a quick stop for breakfast, something to pick up real quick and head out, or just sit down and lounge for a minute. This is a great establishment. This location right here, they moved to probably, I want to say maybe 5 years ago or so, because the business has continued to grow and they could not maintain, I guess, with the space that they had at that time. So if you happen to be around the area, Bagel Pantry is definitely a must go to if you are in the need of some great bagels or just want to drop in for some breakfast. One other spot we're going to take a look at that's literally across the street. I'm going to stop there. We'll hit the park and take a look at the next few properties. I'll see you there. We're at the second of the 2 stops that I mentioned. This one, newer establishment, new boys on the block, if you will. They've only been here for, this came maybe right towards the earlier end of COVID. But Boss Hog Barbecue, outstanding. Brisket, kielbasa, ribs, simply outstanding. To pan up so you can see the sign a little bit. And to pan around, we're in, there's no real true downtown to South Plainfield. There's kind of like your business district. This would be the business district really, but if there's a downtown, this is the closest thing that would approximate towards that. But this is a spot, again, if you're in town, it is worth taking a stop by to sample some barbecue if you are into some really good quality barbecue. And I am trending more towards plant-based diet, but when I do get some barbecue, this is definitely one of the spots that I have high on my list. All right, so next stop is in fact the park. We'll take the tour from there. See you there. We finally have arrived. Here we are at Spring Lake Park in the heart of town here in South Plainfield. Just to pan around a little bit, I'm standing on one of the bridges here across the pond. Pond is stocked with fish, so people do actually come out here to fish. Nothing too big, but something nice to take in recreationally, particularly if you have younger kids. You can see as when I did pan around, there is a basketball court here. There are tennis courts. There's a playground further down the park. As you go further behind me, the view that you see right here, there is a playground back there. there is a walking trail. So I'm standing on a bridge right now, but these trails pretty much circulate throughout the entire park. There are multiple entrances into the local neighborhoods that you can enter with a bike or by walking. So this is, again, one of those features that really present a nice recreational location and opportunity for residents when you have something like this that's relatively local. The high school and middle school are basically one campus combined. They are joined together. That is at the far end of the park also. So much of town lives within is located within walking distance of the middle and the high school. And it's, again, local right here, neighboring to the park. So we're gonna, from here, take a look at two additional properties. You're gonna notice one thing I did not mention earlier is that in South Plainfield, your price ranges tend to be in a 400 to about 650, 700 for the most part. There are some that will get into the 7 and maybe mid 8s, but there are relatively few. The properties that we're seeing today, all three fell within that 4 to 6 range, right? So from really technically 400s, mid 4 to mid 5. So we'll see those prices as well, but do take note of the property taxes, because that's something that is a major feature here. All right, so we're going to continue. I have some foot footage that I've been walking around, be able to take a little view of that, and I'll see you at the next property. Here we are at our second property. As I mentioned, there were 3 total that we're going to feature today. This is number 2. This particular property, 111 Cumberland Street, is a property that, again, I showed similar to Yergel, the 1333. This particular one, 3-bedroom, 1 bath, basement, very well done. Priced out in a way to draw a lot of attention. 420. There's some expansion done, so the square footage is certainly beyond what you would think for what you can clearly see as a smaller ranch style home, but it's been expanded towards the back. So there's good amount of space, very attractive yard space, well manicured yard. At 420 drew a lot of attention. So selling price went at 467,000. I'll have that posted up here. I believe 462,700, but I'll have that posted up here just for clarity. 6726 is the taxes. $6,726 as taxes. Again, very attractive. The neighborhood, I'm just going to pan around a little bit. Neighborhood, very similar homes throughout the neighborhood. A lot of South Plainfield has this kind of look. You have ranches, you have some areas with some capes, you have some areas with your split levels and some colonials, but very quiet neighborhoods. Where we are right now is not super close to where the schools are, but not that far away. Some kid who rides a bike could easily get to school in 10 minutes from where we are right now. So this is again, another case in point, something very affordable, turnkey, move-in ready, and you can basically appreciate those values of being able to get this in the mid 4s if you've seen some of the other videos on your Montclair, Scotch Plains, Ridgewood, etc., for example. All right, so we have one more stop, and then we're going to have a brief little overview, and we'll take it from there. I'll see you at the next stop. We're at our final property stop here for our South Plainfield episode. This is our highest list and sale price of the 3 properties. This is 1229 Foster, and 1229 Foster was listed at $550, sold at $587. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And as you probably can take notice from the exterior, this is something that has been totally upgraded and renovated. So this would have been a property that we say turnkey, not because it was meticulously maintained alone, but there are very recent upgrades here. So this is only a few blocks away from where we just were on Cumberland Street. So again, not too far of a distance from both the Spring Lake Park and high school, middle school location, which is really towards like the, I won't call it geographically the center of town, but more the heart of town. But this is not far from that. All in all, as a community, is relatively quiet, relatively slow speed, if you will, from the standpoint of having a lot of in and out traffic. A lot of major events, things like that, don't necessarily occur here in South Plainfield. But at the same time, there's all this commercial space that brings shopping from not only South Plainfield but the surrounding towns into these major shopping center areas that helps to offset property taxes. So if this is an area that you're looking at, the schools are solid. They don't necessarily have that excellent rating like your Scotch Plains and like your Ridgewood or like your Montclair, but they still are very, very good performing schools. And you're near, but not right up against a train station, but something that you can live with. This is something to consider. All right. So I want again thank everybody who again my crews, my Jersey hunters who have been with me all along. Thank you for joining again. Those that are new, again, if you like what you saw today, if you want to stay updated on some of these episodes that we have coming up, click like, click subscribe, click the notification bell to stay aware. All right. And by all means, reach out to me. My details, my contact information is right here in the details. We have more episodes coming up. We did a Hoboken Eats. If you have not commented on that one, check the comments on that one, because we are giving out a prize on that for the 7th comment on that episode if it hadn't already been recorded. But we have more episodes like that to feature some of the go-to eating locations. We're going to hit up Jersey City very soon. We're going to end up doing a few others in some of the other suburban locations as well. And we're going to also kind of identify some go-to spots, whether it be for entertainment purposes or just kind of must-see scenic locations, things like that. We'll have some of those coming up as well, just to integrate into what we do here with market updates. So thanks again for joining us for the South Plainfield episode. Be safe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.